The Queen yesterday delivered her 60th televised Christmas broadcast to the nation, the first in 1957, there wasn't one in 1969, was a watershed moment, and not only because it was the head of state's first use of the new medium rather than radio. Her Majesty took the opportunity of being seen by families gathered together for the festivities to address criticisms that the monarchy was not adapting to the new, non-deferential post-war world. She hoped that by using the television in this way, she might make her communication more personal and direct. She said, "Now, at least for a few minutes, I welcome you to the peace of my own home." Yesterday, Her Majesty remarked upon how far media technology has changed in 6 decades and yet how the circumstances of her broadcast remain largely the same. Most people, she observed, watch her message at home, and the Queen described Christmas as a festival of the home. Change and continuity are not necessarily contradictions, the monarchy embodies them both. Republicanism has never taken even a tentative toehold in Britain, largely through the Queen's ability to adapt to the evolution of her country, a transformation reflected in her own family. The forthcoming wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, for instance, would have been inconceivable a generation ago. That it is going ahead not just with the blessing of the Queen but with the good wishes of the entire country, and none of the constitutional upheavals that attended the courtship of Edward VIII and Wallis Simpson, is testament to that change. But the very fact that the Queen's speech has been a fixed point of our national Christmas celebrations for so long is itself a reflection of her advanced years. At 91, she is in remarkable fettle, but it comes as no surprise that she wants, and needs, to slow down. Her decision not to lay a wreath at the cenotaph on Remembrance Sunday was the most poignant example of this gradual withdrawal from the national stage. She is performing fewer domestic duties and her overseas visits have been scaled back almost to none, which, after 271 official trips since her accession, is perfectly acceptable. Her role at the cenotaph was taken by the Prince of Wales, who can be expected to assume more of the monarch's functions in the coming years, as can the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. We are witnessing a steady, dignified, almost imperceptible transition, very much in keeping with the tendency of her reign to avoid anything too dramatic. The reason why there was no Christmas address in 1969 was because that year saw the screening of the BBC documentary The Royal Family, a landmark occasion that took people behind the scenes for the first time and coincided with the investiture of the Prince of Wales. It was felt subsequently, however, that this had been a bit too intrusive, so the palace decided the Christmas address that year would be written rather than broadcast. Again, this was to ensure that modernization was gradual and controlled, rather than sudden and dramatic. Today, with the Queen's grandchildren appearing regularly on TV and Prince Harry about to guest edit an edition of the BBC's Today radio program, the evolution of an institution that the Queen herself worried 60 years ago was thought remote and outdated is almost complete. Her decision to step back bit by bit does not signal that she is relinquishing control. However, the Queen takes her lifetime role seriously and has never countenanced abdication, but slowing down is inevitable, as the Duke of Edinburgh, 96, conceded with his retirement from many of his offices earlier this year. The Queen did not wear the elaborate robes or the heavy imperial crown to the state opening of Parliament in June, a pared-back affair because of post-election uncertainties, and she will be spared a state opening next year as the current session will run on until Brexit. The country is immensely proud of its Queen and is relieved to see her share the burden of office in her 10th decade. But there is one duty her people always look forward to, and that is the Christmas broadcast, as much a part of the celebrations in homes across the land as turkey and plum pudding. Long may it continue. Thank you for watching.